Hey there, beautiful souls. Today, we're diving into a story that feels a little too familiar to some of you. It's about love, connection, and what happens when fear sneaks in and takes over. Meet Amara. She's in her mid-30s, stunning, successful, and ready to find her life partner. After years of dating, she finally meets someone she thinks could be the one. He's handsome, accomplished, and thoughtful. Everything she's been looking for. They have deep, meaningful conversations, and it feels like they're on the same page about their future. But then, one weekend, things take a turn. One day, during a conversation about his life, he mentioned his ex-wife and their son. He told Amara he couldn't meet her that weekend because he was attending his son's birthday party, a family gathering where his ex-wife and her family would also be present. This information hit Amara like a lightning bolt. She immediately asked, "Why can't I come with you? I am your girlfriend after all. Shouldn't everyone, including your ex-wife, know about me?" Her boyfriend found this request a little odd. He explained that this was a co-parenting obligation, one that has been in place long before they met. He felt it was too soon to make things that official, but Amara wasn't satisfied. The thought of him spending time with his ex-wife and her family without her filled her with anxiety. The conversation became a turning point in the relationship. She started asking for constant reassurance, wanting him to prove that he loved her. And when he didn't respond the way she needed it, it triggered her even more. So she texted him constantly, calling him repeatedly, and even drove past his house to see if another car was parked outside. When they went out, if she saw him with another woman, whether it was a colleague or a friend, she couldn't help but confront them. Her fear of losing him consumed her, and it wore their relationship down. He started withdrawing, and eventually he ended things to protect his peace. Amara was devastated. So what's going on with Amara? Her behavior wasn't just jealousy. It was rooted in something much, much deeper. Anxious attachment, that's what we're dealing with here. Anxious attachment is a style that forms in childhood, typically when a caregiver is inconsistent. One moment the caregiver might be warm and attentive, and then the next they might be distracted, unavailable, or dismissive. This inconsistency leaves the child unsure if they can truly rely on others. So they develop a deep fear of abandonment. As adults, people with anxious attachment often crave closeness and reassurance, but struggle with feeling secure in their relationships. Here's how it shows up. 1. Constant need for validation. Amara needed to hear over and over that her boyfriend loved her. 2. Fear of abandonment. She became obsessed with the idea that he might leave her or choose someone else. Difficulty trusting. Even when there was no evidence of betrayal, her mind created the worst scenarios ever. 4. Jealousy and obsession. These emotions became so overwhelming that they started driving her actions. Constant texting, constant calling, and even showing up unannounced. Jealousy is a normal human emotion, but when it is paired with anxious attachment, it can spiral into obsession. Why? Because anxious individuals often equate reassurance with love. If they don't receive constant affirmation, their minds fill in the blanks with fear of betrayal or abandonment. This isn't about being crazy or being needy. It's about unresolved wounds from childhood, core fears that say, "I'm not enough," or "I'll be left behind." Unfortunately, these fears can create a self-fulfilling cycle. The more Amara pushed for reassurance, the more overwhelmed her boyfriend felt. And the more he withdrew, the more triggered Amara became, leading to behaviors that ultimately drove him away completely. So how do you break free from this cycle? Healing from anxious attachment isn't easy, but it's absolutely possible. Here are some steps to start the journey. 1. Self-awareness is key. The first step is to recognize the pattern. If you notice yourself seeking constant reassurance or feeling panicked when someone pulls away, take a step back and ask, what am I really afraid of? 2. Build your self-worth. People with anxious attachment often tie their value to how much others love or validate them. Start practicing affirmations like, I am enough, or I deserve love without having to chase it. The more you believe in your own worth, the less you'll need external validation. 3. Develop healthy coping mechanisms. Instead of texting or calling repeatedly, try journaling your feelings or reaching out to a trusted friend. Find healthy outlets for your emotions. 4. Therapy and inner child work. Working with a therapist can help you process the wounds that created your anxious attachment. Inner child work in particular can be transformative. It allows you to reparent that part that feels scared and unloved. 5. Communicate your needs. Healthy relationships require open, honest communication. Instead of acting out fear, try expressing your feelings calmly. For example, when you don't respond, I feel anxious because I worry I'm not important to you. Vulnerability fosters understanding and connection. Healing doesn't happen overnight, but every small step you take brings you closer to secure, fulfilling relationships. Amara's story is a reminder that anxious attachment isn't a life sentence. It's a pattern that can be changed. The key is in understanding where it comes from, taking ownership of your healing, and building the tools to navigate relationships with trust and confidence. If this has resonated with you, share it with someone who might need to hear it, and tell me in the comment section, what's one step you'll take to feel more secure in your relationships? Until next time, remember, together we heal, together we grow, and together we thrive. You've got this.